everyone.
We are from DTL 5B, Group 1.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Hi, my name is Nisha.
Hi, my name is Nabil.
Hi, my name is Izzat.
Hi, my name is Azam.
Please enjoy our meeting. Bye-bye.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to our first CSR planning meeting. My name is Muhammad Nabil bin Muhammad Suhaimi, President of the Welfare Club, and I will be chairing today's meeting. Before we begin, may I invite everyone to briefly introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amira Binti Amran as a treasurer of the Student Welfare Club.
Hi everyone, my name is Arnisha Azrin binti Abdul Farid Fakardin. I'm a committee member.
Hi everyone, my name is Muhammad Izzat Irfan bin Abdul Karim and I am a secretary for today's meeting of Student Welfare Club.
Good morning everyone. I am Muhammad Shazam Mirza bin Zakaria, the Assistant Secretary of the Student Welfare Club.
Thank you, everyone. As this our first meeting for our upcoming CSR activity, our objective today is to discuss the initial planning and make the important decision to ensure the program is well organized and successful. For your information, our CSR will be held at Masjid Al Sultan Abdullah. Today's discussion will focus on planning and making necessary decisions for the event. I would now like to present the agenda for today's meeting. First, we will discuss and decide on suitable date for the CSR program. Next, we will determine the participants in the program. After that, we will discuss the meals provided for participants. We will then review proposed budget. Finally, we will address any other matters before concluding today's meeting. Before we proceed with the first agenda item, I would like to ask our secretary, Mr. Izzat, to record the minutes of today's meeting.
I gladly accept the role as the secretary for today's meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Let's begin with the first item here. I'd like to hear what you all have to say before we decide about the suitable date for our CSR.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to suggest 23rd July 2026. I believe this is a practical choice because it gives us enough time to prepare our budget and approach potential sponsor. The important thing here is making sure we receive financial support before the event begins.
Thank you, Amira. Does anyone have any comments on this proposal?
I am afraid I have to disagree with this proposal. I don't think we will have enough time finalize the activity schedule and confirm all our volunteers. I can force certain problem if we rush our preparation.
I agree with Amira's suggestion. From my point of view, organizing the program earlier allow us to begin our community activity sooner and achieve our objective on time.
I can see your point, but I'm not sure I agree. Many university students may still be busy with their academic commitments, so participation could be lower than expected.
Thank you, everyone. Azam, do you have anything to say?
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to recommend 30 July 2026. From my point of view, this would be the best option because it gives every commit member enough to time prepare the activity schedule, confirm volunteer and organize the program properly. I'm quite certain this will help us avoid rushing our preparation.
Thank you, Azam. Any views on this proposal?
I agree with Azam's proposal. I think this date gives us enough time to finalize our budget and secure sponsorship without delaying the program too much.
I agree that this proposal has several advantages. It gives us more time to prepare and coordinate our activities before the event.
I agree with this proposal as well. In my opinion, 30 July provides good balance between preparation time and community participation. This is one of the strongest proposals we discussed.
I think you on the right track. This proposal allow us to prepare properly while still attracting a good number of participants from the community.
Thank you all. Nisha, would you like to share your opinion?
Thank you, Chairman. Why don't we organize the CSR program on 1st August 2026? I believe this could attract more university students because many of them will be free during that period. We will also have more time to promote the event and encourage greater community participation.
Thank you, Nisha. Does anyone have anything to say about this proposal?
I'm afraid I have to disagree with this proposal. Although it gives us more preparation time, the longer promotion period may increase our publicity expenses. The thing here is keeping our spending within the approved budget.
Thank you for sharing your opinions. I can understand the benefits of organizing the event on 1st August, but I'm afraid I have to disagree. From my point of view, postponing the program may affect our overall planning and timeline.
I like to comment on this proposal. I'm not sure I agree because delay the program may affect the availability of some venture and sponsor. I think we should organize it early.
Thank you, everyone. I think we discussed all the advantage and disadvantage of each proposal. Shall we vote on the proposal for 30 July 2026? Those in favor of 30 July 2026, please raise your hand.
I work for 23rd July 2026.
I vote for 30 July 2026.
I agree. My vote goes to 30 July 2026.
I vote for 1st August 2026.
The voting results are as follows. 1 vote for 23rd July 2026. 3 vote for 30 July 2026. And 1 vote for 1st August 2026.
Thank you, everyone. Based on the majority vote, 30 July 2026 has been selected as the official date for our CSR program. I appreciate everyone's valuable opinions and cooperation. I think we reached our satisfactory decision on this matter. Now that we settled the first agenda item, let's move on to the second item on today's agenda. We need to decide on the number of participants for our CSR program. I'd like to hear your suggestion before we make our final decision.
Thank you, Chairman. I like to suggest having 30 participants for our CSR program. From my point of view, this is a particular number because it will be easier to manage the activity and keep our expense within the approved budget.
Thank you, Azam. That's an interesting suggestion. Does anyone have anything to say about this proposal?
I agree with Azam's suggestion. What I'm saying is that having 30 participants will make it easier for us to organize the activities and communicate with everyone effectively.
I think you on the right track. From my point of view, a smaller group will help us complete the activity more smoothly without any unnecessary delay.
I can see your point, but I'm afraid I have to disagree. I think 30 participants may be too few to achieve the objective of our CSR program. I'd like to draw your attention to the importance of involving more members of the community.
I agree that this proposal has several advantages. However, the important thing here is finding a number that is manageable while still allowing good community participation. Thank you, everyone. Let's move on to the next proposal. Would you like to share your opinion?
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to recommend having 40 participants for our CSR program. I believe this will be the best option because it gives us a good balance between effective management and community involvement. I'm quite certain that our committee can handle this number comfortably.
Thank you, Nisha. That's good point you made there. Any views on this proposal?
I agree with Nisha's proposal. From my point of view, 40 participants are still within our budget, and we can provide enough food and materials without increasing our expenses too much.
I completely agree. What I'm saying is that 40 participants will allow us to organize the activity efficiently while maintaining good coordination among everyone.
I can certain see the advantage of this proposal. It gives us the opportunity to involve more participants while keeping the program well organized. I think this a reasonable suggestion.
I agree with this proposal as well. In my opinion, 40 participants provide a good balance between participation and effective program management because this is one of the strongest proposals we discussed. Thank you all. Now let's hear another suggestion. Izzat, would you like to share your opinion?
Thank you, Chairman. Why don't we invite 50 participants to join our CSR program? From my point of view, involving more participants will encourage greater community engagement. The important thing here is giving more people the opportunity to take part in the program.
Thank you, Izzat. Does anyone have anything to add before we continue?
I agree that this proposal has its advantage. What I'm saying is that having more participants can create a greater impact on the community. However, we should also consider our available resources.
I can see your point, however, I'm not entirely convinced. Managing 50 participants may require more volunteers and additional equipment. I think that could make the program more difficult to manage.
I'm afraid I have to disagree with this proposal. Although involving more participants is beneficial, I can foresee certain problems if we implement this because our budget may not be sufficient.
Thank you for your suggestion, Izzat. I'm afraid I have to disagree. From my point of view, 50 participants may be difficult to manage during a CSR program at the most. The important thing here is ensuring the program runs smoothly that every participant can be properly supervised. Thank you everyone. I think we discussed all the advantage and disadvantage of each proposal. Shall we vote on the proposal to have 40 participants for our CSR program? Those in favor of 40 participants, please raise your hand.
I vote for 40 participants.
My vote goes to 40 participants.
I also vote for 40 participants.
Although I suggest 50 participants, I think we found a satisfactory compromise. I vote for 40 participants.
As the chairman, I also like to cast my vote. I vote in favor of 40 participants because it is the most practical and well-balanced option for our CSR program.
The voting results are as follows: 0 vote for 30 participants, 5 vote for 40 participants, and 0 vote for 50 participants.
Thank you everyone. Based on the majority vote, we have agreed to limit the number of participants to 40 for our CSR program. I'd like to thank you everyone for your valuable suggestion and constructive discussion. Now that we complete the second agenda item, let's move on to the third item on today's agenda. We need to decide on the budget for our corporate social responsibility program. I'd like to hear your suggestion before we make our final decision.
Thank you, Chairman. I like to suggest allocating a budget of 1,000 ringgit for our CSR program. From my point of view, this amount is sufficient because our activities are simple and will be held at the most.
Thank you, Izzat. That's an interesting suggestion. Does anyone have anything to say about this proposal?
I agree with Izzat's proposal. What I'm saying is that 1000 ringgit should be enough if we manage our expense carefully and receive support from our sponsor.
I can see your point, but I'm afraid I have to disagree. 1000 ringgit may not be enough to cover food, cleaning, equipment, and other essential materials. I can foresee certain problems if we implement this budget.
I think you are on the right track. From my point of view, a reasonable budget will help us avoid unnecessary spending while still achieving our objective.
I agree that this proposal has several advantages. However, I'd like to draw your attention to the possibility of unexpected expenses during the program. Thank you, everyone. Let's move on to the next proposal. Nisha, would you like to share your opinion?
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to recommend allocating a budget of 1,500 ringgit. I believe this will be the best option because it gives us enough funds to prepare food, equipment, and other necessary materials without exceeding our financial limit. I'm quite certain this amount is practical and manageable.
Thank you, Nisha. That's a good point you've made there. Any views on this proposal?
I agree with Nisha's proposal. From my point of view, 1,500 ringgit provide enough flexibility to cover our expenses while remaining within our budget.
I completely agree. What I'm saying is that this budget allows us to organize the program efficiently without affecting its quality.
I can certainly see the advantage of this proposal. 1500 ringgit seems reasonable because it allows us to prepare everything properly without spending too much.
I agree with this proposal as well. In my opinion, 1500 provides a good balance between cost and quality. Thank you all. Now let's hear another suggestion. Amira, would you like to share your opinion?
Thank you, Chairman. Why don't we allocate a budget of 2,000 ringgit for our CSR program? From my point of view, a larger budget will allow us to improve the quality of our activities and prepare additional supplies if necessary. The important thing here is making sure the program runs successfully.
Thank you, Amira. Does anyone have anything to add before we continue?
I can see your point. However, I am not entirely convinced. 2000 ringgit may be more than what we actually need for a small CSR program at the most.
I agree that this proposal has its advantage. What I am saying is that having extra funds could help us deal with unexpected expenses. However, we should use our budget wisely.
I'm afraid I have to disagree with this proposal. Although a larger budget gives us more flexibility, I like to draw your attention to our financial limitations. We should avoid spending more than necessary.
Thank you for your suggestion, Amira. However, I'm afraid I have to disagree. From my point of view, 2000 ringgit is higher than what we currently require. The important thing here is using our financial resources efficiently. Thank you, everyone. I think we discussed all the advantage and disadvantage of each proposal. Shall we vote on the proposal to allocate a budget of 1500 for our CSR program? Those in favor of 1500, please raise your hand.
Although I suggested 2,000 ringgit, I think we reached a satisfactory compromise. I vote for 1,500 ringgit.
I vote for 1,500 ringgit.
My vote goes to 1500 ringgit.
I also vote for 1500 ringgit.
As the chairman, I also like to cast my vote. I vote in favor of 1500 because it is the most practical and well balanced budget for our CSR program.
The voting results are as follow: 0 vote for 1000 ringgit, 5 vote for 1500 ringgit, and 0 vote for 2000 ringgit.
Thank you, everyone. Based on the majority vote, we have agreed to allocate a budget of 1,500 for our CSR program. I'd like to thank you everyone for your valuable suggestion and constructive discussion. Now that we complete the third item, let's move on to the fourth item on today's agenda. We need to decide on the menu for the participants during our CSR program. I'd like to hear your suggestion before we make our final decision.
Thank you, Chairman. I like to suggest serving nasi lemak is the main meal for our participants. From my point of view, it is affordable, filling, and suitable for people all of ages. The important thing here is providing a satisfying meal while staying within our budget.
Thank you, Amira. That's an interesting suggestion. Does anyone have anything to say about this proposal?
I agree with Amira's proposal. What I'm saying is that nasi lemak is a popular local dish and most participants will enjoy it. It is also easy to prepare and distribute.
I think you on the right track. From my point of view, this menu is practical because it is both delicious and reasonably priced.
I agree that this proposal has several advantages. However, the important thing here is making sure the menu is suitable for everyone.
I can see your point, but I am afraid I have to disagree. Some participants may prefer a lighter meal, especially if the weather is hot. I'd like to draw your attention to the participants' comfort during the program.
Thank you, everyone. I also like to share my opinion. I like to suggest serving chicken rice for our participants. From my point of view, it is a suitable choice because it is nutritious, affordable, and popular among people of all ages. The important thing here is choosing a menu that is practical, filling, and easy to serve during the CSR program.
I agree with your suggestion, Chairman. From my point of view, chicken rice provides good value for money and it's fit well within our approved budget.
I completely agree. What I'm saying is that chicken rice is easy to prepare, convenient to distribute, and suitable for participants of different age group.
I think you on the right track. Chicken rice is one of the most popular meal, and I convinced that most participants will enjoy it.
I can certainly see the advantage of this proposal. Chicken rice is a balanced meal, and I think this will be a practical option for our CSR program.
Thank you, everyone. I'm glad to hear the most of you agree with this proposal. Let's move on to the next suggestion before we make our final decision. Now, let's hear another suggestion. Izzat, would you like to share your opinion?
Thank you, Chairman. Why don't we serve chicken biryani rice for our participants? From my point of view, it is a special meal that will make the participant feel more appreciated. The important thing here is providing a memorable experience for everyone.
Thank you, Izzat. Does anyone have anything to add before we continue?
I'm afraid I have to disagree with this proposal. Although chicken biryani rice is delicious, I like to draw your attention to the cost. It may exceed our approved budget.
I can see your point, however, I'm not entirely convinced. Preparing chicken biryani rice may require a higher budget and more time. I think we should choose a simple menu.
I'm afraid I have to disagree with this proposal. From my point of view, chicken biryani rice may be too heavy for some participants, especially after taking part in outdoor activities.
Thank you for your suggestion, Izzat. However, I'm afraid I have to disagree. From my point of view, chicken biryani rice is a good choice, but it may not be practical for our current budget. The important thing here is selecting a menu that is both affordable and suitable for all participants. Thank you, everyone. I think we discussed all the advantage and disadvantage of each proposal. Shall we vote on the proposal to serve chicken rice for our CSR program? Those in favor of chicken rice, please raise your hand.
I vote for chicken rice.
My vote goes to chicken rice.
I also vote for chicken rice.
Although I suggest chicken biryani rice, I think we reached a satisfactory compromise. I vote for chicken rice.
As the chairman, I also like to cast my vote. I vote in favor of chicken rice because it is the most practical and cost-effective option for our CSR program.
The voting results are as follow: 0 vote for nasi lemak, 5 vote for chicken rice, and 0 vote for chicken biryani rice.
Thank you everyone. Based on the majority vote, we have agreed to serve chicken rice as the menu for our CSR program. Before we conclude today's meeting, is there anything other business that everyone would like to raise? If so, please feel free to share your ideas.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to bring up one more matter regarding transportation. From my point of view, we should provide a bus for all community members and participants traveling to the mosque. I believe this will make the journey more convenient and ensure that everyone arrives at the venue on time.
Thank you, Amira. That's a good point you made there. I agree to providing a bus will be a practical solution. We make the necessary arrangements and inform all participants before the program.
Chairman, I'd like to add something here. I suggest that the program start at 8 a.m. and finish at 12:30 p.m. I believe this schedule will give us enough time to complete all the planned activities without rushing.
Thank you, Azam. I think that's worth considering. We'll include the proposed schedule in the final program itinerary.
If I could just add one more point, I like to suggest preparing certificate of participant for all volunteer. The important thing here is showing our appreciation for their contribution and encouraging them to participate in future CSR program.
Thank you, Izzat. I can certainly see the advantage of the suggestion. We'll make sure the certificates are prepared before the event.
I'd also like to mention one more thing. From my point of view, we should prepare a banner for the CSR program. It will make the event more organized and provide a suitable backdrop for group photos and documentation.
Thank you, Nisha. That's an excellent suggestion. We'll include the banner in our preparation checklist. Before we end the meeting, I'd like to raise one final point. We also need to prepare all the equipment required for the CSR program, such as brooms, mops, garbage bags, gloves, buckets, and cleaning clothes. The important thing here is making sure that everything is ready before the program begins so that our activities can run smoothly. If there are no further matters to discuss, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. Thank you, thank you all for your valuable suggestion, cooperation, and active participation throughout today's meeting. I'm convinced that our teamwork and careful planning will contribute to a successful CSR program. The meeting is now adjourned. Have a wonderful day, everyone.